Most people over 60 are slowly damaging their kidneys every single day, and they have absolutely no idea it is happening. There are no sharp pains, no obvious warning signs, and no alarm going off inside your body. The kidneys silently continue working, filtering your blood, balancing your fluids, and removing waste, until one day they simply cannot keep up anymore. And here is the part that most doctors do not tell you during a regular checkup. By the time standard blood tests start showing a kidney problem, you may have already lost 30 to 40% of your kidney function. That is not a small number. That is nearly half of what your kidneys are supposed to be doing, already gone, silently, without you ever feeling it. Now, the reason this becomes especially critical after the age of 60 is that the kidneys naturally lose about 1% of their filtering ability every single year as we age. So, while a 30-year-old can bounce back from mild dehydration or a high-sodium meal fairly easily, a 65-year-old's kidneys are working under very different conditions. They are already operating with less reserve. Add in common habits like not drinking enough water, relying on over-the-counter pain medications, or consuming too much processed food, and you are putting your kidneys under enormous stress every single day. But here is what I find truly remarkable, and this is the reason we are having this conversation today. Certain drinks, ones that are simple, affordable, and easy to find at any grocery store, have been shown in real clinical research to actively support kidney filtration, reduce inflammation inside the kidney tissue, protect against the buildup of harmful deposits, and even help slow down age-related kidney decline. These are not trendy detox drinks. These are not expensive supplements. They are drinks that have been quietly studied for decades, and the findings are genuinely impressive. So today, we are going to talk about 5 of them. Stay with me because the one at the end of this list tends to surprise almost everyone. Before we get into the drinks themselves, it is worth taking just a moment to understand why kidney health becomes such a priority after 60. Most people think about their heart or their joints as they get older, and rightfully so. But the kidneys sit at the center of almost everything your body does to keep itself clean and balanced. Every single minute of every day, your kidneys are filtering about half a cup of blood. Over the course of 24 hours, they process roughly 200 quarts of blood total. They pull out waste products, excess minerals, toxins from the food you eat, byproducts from the medications you take, and cellular debris from normal metabolism. They also regulate your blood pressure, control how much calcium gets into your bones, activate vitamin D, and manage the balance of potassium, sodium, and phosphorus throughout your entire system. When the kidneys start to slow down, it does not just affect one thing, it affects everything. Blood pressure becomes harder to control, bones get weaker, energy levels drop, the brain gets foggy, fluid starts to build up in unexpected places, and the cardiovascular system comes under increasing strain. Research published in medical literature consistently shows that adults over 60 with even mildly reduced kidney function face significantly higher risks of heart disease, stroke, anemia, and cognitive decline. So when we talk about protecting the kidneys, we are really talking about protecting your entire quality of life in the years ahead. And the beautiful truth is that what you drink every single day has a profound and direct impact on how well your kidneys function. This is not a small lever. This is one of the biggest levers you have. Now let us talk about the first drink, and this one is the foundation of everything else on this list. Water. Plain, simple water. I know that might sound too basic to be worth mentioning, but give me 60 seconds because what research has revealed about hydration and kidney health after 60 is something that most people are genuinely missing. As we age, our sense of thirst naturally becomes less reliable. The brain mechanisms that trigger the feeling of thirst start to dull. This means that an older adult can be meaningfully dehydrated, their blood becoming more concentrated, their kidneys working under stress, without ever feeling particularly thirsty. A study that followed adults over the age of 60 for several years found that those who consistently drank less than 5 glasses of water per day had measurably faster rates of kidney function decline compared to those who stayed well hydrated. The kidneys need water to do their job. Without adequate water, waste products and minerals begin to concentrate in the urine. When urine stays concentrated for long periods of time, the risk of crystal and stone formation increases significantly. Kidney stones are not just painful, they can cause physical damage to the delicate internal structures of the kidney that filters blood. But here is a detail that makes this even more actionable. Research suggests that for older adults, the sweet spot for kidney protective hydration is around 2 to 2.5 liters of total fluid per day, which works out to roughly 8 glasses. Not sipping a little here and there, but making a consistent, intentional effort throughout the day. The best strategy, especially for those over 60 whose thirst signals are unreliable, is to drink a glass of water first thing in the morning, a glass before each meal, and a glass in the mid-afternoon. Do not wait until you feel thirsty. By the time thirst kicks in at our age, mild dehydration is often already underway. Start with water. Build the habit. Everything else on this list works better when your kidneys are properly hydrated to begin with. The second drink is one that millions of Americans already love but rarely think of as a health tool for their kidneys. We are talking about unsweetened green tea. Green tea has been consumed for thousands of years across Asia, and modern science has spent decades trying to understand exactly why populations that drink it regularly tend to show such impressive health outcomes. When it comes specifically to the kidneys, the findings are quite remarkable. Green tea contains a group of natural antioxidant compounds called catechins, with the most powerful one being a compound abbreviated as EGCG. This compound has been studied extensively for its ability to reduce oxidative stress inside the kidney tissue, meaning it helps neutralize the harmful free radicals that accumulate inside the kidneys as a natural consequence of aging and normal metabolic processes. A clinical study published in a peer-reviewed nephrology journal found that participants who consumed green tea regularly showed lower levels of inflammatory markers specifically associated with kidney tissue damage. Another body of research, conducted primarily in populations with high rates of green tea consumption, found that regular green tea drinkers had significantly lower rates of proteinuria, which is a condition where protein leaks into the urine, and which is one of the earliest and most reliable warning signs that the kidneys are under stress. There is also evidence suggesting that the catechins in green tea may help reduce the formation of calcium oxalate crystals, which are the most common building blocks of kidney stones. Now, a very important note here. If you are already dealing with kidney disease, or if your doctor has placed you on a fluid restriction, you need to have a conversation with your healthcare provider before changing your fluid intake significantly. But for the average healthy adult over 60 who simply wants to support their kidney health proactively, 1 to 2 cups of unsweetened green tea per day represents a genuinely evidence-backed choice. Skip the sweetened versions and definitely skip the bottled varieties that are loaded with added sugar. Brew it yourself, let it cool slightly, and enjoy it warm or over ice. The third drink on our list is going to surprise a lot of people. It might even be something you have been specifically told to avoid over the years. So hear me out, because the research here is genuinely interesting. We are talking about coffee. Yes, coffee. For decades, coffee had a somewhat unfair reputation as something hard on the kidneys, largely because of concerns about caffeine and blood pressure. But a growing and very consistent body of research has flipped this narrative significantly. A large-scale study that analyzed data from tens of thousands of adults over many years found that moderate coffee consumption, meaning roughly 2 to 3 cups per day, was associated with a meaningfully lower risk of developing chronic kidney disease. Another comprehensive analysis that looked at multiple studies together found that people who drank coffee regularly had a reduced risk of kidney function decline compared to non-coffee drinkers. The protective effects appear to come from coffee's rich supply of antioxidant compounds, including chlorogenic acids, which help reduce inflammation and oxidative damage in kidney tissue. Coffee also appears to support healthy blood vessel function in the kidneys, which is critically important because the kidneys are one of the most blood vessel dense organs in the entire body. Poor circulation in those tiny vessels is one of the key mechanisms through which kidney function declines over time. Now here is the important qualifier. We are talking about plain black coffee or coffee with a small amount of milk, not the sugar-loaded, cream-filled specialty drinks that have become so popular. Those add excessive calories, sugar, and sometimes artificial ingredients that create more work for the kidneys rather than less. And if you have existing kidney disease, particularly if you have been told to watch your potassium levels, you will want to check with your doctor because coffee does contain potassium. But for the majority of older adults who enjoy a morning cup, the research suggests you do not need to give it up out of fear for your kidneys. If anything, your morning coffee might be quietly doing your kidneys a quiet favor. Now we are getting into the territory where a lot of people start to feel genuinely surprised, and this fourth drink is one of the best examples of that. Cranberry juice has long been associated with urinary tract health, and most people know it as the go-to remedy when a UTI is brewing. But what is far less known is the specific way cranberry supports the kidneys themselves, not just the bladder. The kidneys and the urinary tract are deeply connected. They are literally the same drainage system. When harmful bacteria like E. coli establish themselves in the lower urinary tract, they have a pathway to travel upward toward the kidneys, where they can cause much more serious infections called pyelonephritis, which is a kidney infection. Repeated urinary tract infections, especially when they go undetected or undertreated, are a recognized cause of progressive kidney damage over time. Cranberry contains compounds called proanthocyanidins, which have been shown in research to prevent certain harmful bacteria from adhering to the walls of the urinary tract. When bacteria cannot stick, they get flushed out during normal urination rather than establishing an infection. This is not just folk wisdom. It has been studied in multiple clinical trials and is well supported in urological and nephrological literature. However, and this is a critical point, you need to be very careful about which cranberry product you choose. Most commercial cranberry juice cocktails contain extraordinary amounts of added sugar, sometimes as much as 25 grams per 8-ounce serving. That level of sugar actually works against kidney health rather than supporting it, because high sugar intake contributes to elevated blood glucose, which is one of the primary drivers of kidney damage in diabetic kidney disease. What you want is pure, unsweetened cranberry juice, diluted with water if the tartness is too strong, or unsweetened cranberry supplements in capsule form. 2 to 4 ounces of pure cranberry juice diluted in water once per day is a reasonable and research-supported approach for kidney and urinary tract protection after 60. The fifth drink is the one I mentioned at the beginning, the one that consistently surprises people when they hear it, and genuinely it deserves its spot on this list more than almost anything else we have discussed. We are talking about lemon water, specifically fresh lemon juice mixed into water consumed daily. Now, lemons are acidic, so how in the world can something acidic be good for the kidneys? This is where the biology gets truly interesting. When your body metabolizes the citric acid in lemon juice, it actually produces an alkalizing effect in the urine. This matters enormously for kidney stone prevention, which is one of the most common and most painful kidney problems in adults over 60. The most common type of kidney stone is made primarily of calcium and oxalate. For these stones to form, the urine needs certain conditions. It needs to be concentrated, and it needs to be lacking in a natural inhibitor called urinary citrate. Here is the key. Citric acid from lemons directly raises urinary citrate levels. And when citrate is present in the urine in adequate amounts, it literally binds to calcium and prevents it from joining with oxalate to form crystals. It is like a molecular bodyguard that intercepts the building blocks of kidney stones before they can assemble. A study published in a urology journal found that patients who followed a lemon juice protocol, drinking 4 ounces of fresh lemon juice diluted in 2 liters of water each day, showed a significant reduction in kidney stone formation rates compared to their previous rates before starting the protocol. For people with a history of calcium oxalate stones, this is genuinely life-changing information. But even for those who have never had a kidney stone, raising urinary citrate levels through daily lemon water is a simple and powerful protective measure. Lemon also provides vitamin C, which serves as an antioxidant inside the kidney tissue, and potassium, which supports healthy blood pressure, another key factor in long-term kidney health. Just squeeze half a fresh lemon into a glass of water each morning and drink it before breakfast. It costs pennies. It takes 30 seconds. and the evidence strongly suggests it does real and meaningful good for your kidneys over time. Let us take a step back now and look at the bigger picture, because it is not just about the 5 drinks individually. The pattern that emerges from all of this research is actually a beautiful and empowering one. The kidneys are remarkably responsive organs. Unlike some tissues in the body that are very difficult to support once stress begins, the kidneys respond quickly and meaningfully to changes in what you put into your body. Staying well hydrated reduces the concentration of harmful substances in the blood they filter. Antioxidant-rich drinks like green tea and coffee reduce the oxidative damage that silently accumulates inside kidney tissue over decades. Cranberry protects the drainage pathway from infections that can travel upward and cause scarring. Lemon water creates a urine environment that is genuinely hostile to kidney stone formation. And all 5 of these drinks, when consumed consistently and in the right form, work synergistically, meaning they support different aspects of kidney health simultaneously, creating a much more comprehensive protective effect than any single drink could achieve on its own. Of course, no drink alone can replace good overall lifestyle habits. Managing blood pressure is enormous for kidney health. Hypertension is one of the 2 leading causes of kidney disease worldwide. Keeping blood sugar in a healthy range matters profoundly. Avoiding chronic use of over-the-counter pain relievers like ibuprofen and naproxen, which are known to be hard on kidney tissue with long-term use, is something everyone over 60 should be aware of. And reducing processed food, particularly foods high in sodium and phosphorus additives, takes significant strain off the kidneys every single day. But what you drink is a lever that you can start pulling today, immediately, with almost no cost and no inconvenience. You are already drinking something throughout the day. Choosing the right things and avoiding the wrong ones, like excessive soda, high-sugar beverages, and highly concentrated sports drinks loaded with electrolytes you do not actually need, is a meaningful and cumulative choice. There is one more thing I want to address before we wrap up, and it is something that comes up constantly in conversations about kidney health. Many people over 60 are surprised to discover that they may already have some degree of early kidney function decline and simply do not know it. The standard kidney tests that most doctors order during a routine physical, creatinine and the calculated GFR score, are useful, but they are not perfectly sensitive for early changes. Newer markers and more comprehensive urinalysis can catch early warning signs that standard tests miss. If you are over 60 and you have risk factors like high blood pressure, diabetes, a family history of kidney disease, or a personal history of kidney stones, it is genuinely worth having a conversation with your doctor about whether a more thorough kidney evaluation makes sense. Do not wait for symptoms. Symptoms in kidney disease tend to appear late after significant function is already lost. Proactive monitoring is one of the most powerful things you can do. Know your numbers. Know your GFR. Know your urine albumin level. These are simple tests that paint a much clearer picture of how your kidneys are actually doing. And then support that monitoring with the daily habits we discussed today: consistent hydration, green tea, moderate coffee, pure cranberry, and lemon water. These are not miracle cures. They are steady, evidence-backed habits that accumulate into real protection over months and years. I want to hear from you now, because this conversation does not end here. What I find most valuable about this community is the real-world experiences that people bring to the table. Have you been dealing with kidney stones or recurring urinary tract infections and found something that genuinely helped? Have you already incorporated any of these drinks into your daily routine and noticed a difference in how you feel, your energy, your urinary comfort, your overall well-being? Or maybe you have a question about how one of these drinks might interact with a medication you were taking or a condition you are managing. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Seriously, your experience might be exactly what someone else in this community needs to hear. Health decisions rarely happen in a vacuum, and the shared wisdom in these comment sections has helped thousands of people make better choices for themselves. And if you found this information valuable, please share this video with someone you care about who is over 60. Most people are not having this conversation with their doctor. Most people do not know that what they drink every day is having a direct impact on how their kidneys age. You sharing this video could genuinely make a difference for someone's long-term health. The kidneys do quiet, thankless work every moment of every day. The least we can do is give them a little support in return.